This is the 3D Viewmaster story, Barnaby in Space. Somewhere in the heart of the woods is hidden the house of the little bear Barnaby and of his friends. This part of the woods, full of flowers of all colors in spring, is called Nice Woods. Every morning, when all the little animals go to school, you can hear the birds singing and the skylarks trilling. It is at school that the little bear Barnaby has learned during the lessons taught by teacher Grey Wolf a lot of interesting things about aircrafts and the trips into space. The little bear has always proved to be a very good pupil and enthusiastic about everything concerning space and extraordinary things. No wonder that, in spite of some unsuccessful experiences, Barnaby sought to build a powerful rocket with the help of his schoolmates and of Hector the space rat, Crow 12 and some other friends. Thus they first tried to fly into space with a big paper kite. Then they tried a balloon and even a plane. They were often unsuccessful, but the repeated failures did not discourage them, and finally, in spite of knocks and wounds, they succeeded to build a big spaceship. It's Hector the space rat who was the best in astronautics, but Crow 12 advised him often, considering that all Nice Woods knew him to be very clever. The little bear's parents were not quite delighted about their son's space trips, but finally they allowed him to go for a trip into space, accompanied by Crow 12 and Hector the space rat. Viewmaster Reel 1. Picture 1. One morning, when the rocket was ready to start, the bear Barnaby said goodbye to his parents and went to meet his young friends. Picture 2. When the rocket was ready to take off, Fox and Little Rabbit were delighted to find out that the engines were working perfectly. Crow 12 spends the last minutes before the taking off, fluttering here and there around the rocket. Hector hurried by Barnaby, who jumped towards the rocket, and in a few seconds they took off. Picture 3. Barnaby tries to walk into space with the help of a rope that links him to the spaceship. From time to time he repairs some small damage on the outside of the rocket. Suddenly he sees Mechanobear coming towards him and who is already walking into space, thanks to some autonomous engines fixed to his legs. Picture 4. Barnaby invites Mechanobear to come into the rocket and he introduces him to his friends. Crow 12 and Hector find out that Mechanobear resembles very much Barnaby. Mechanobear asks if he can join them for their trip because, like all bears, he's fond of adventures and space trips. Picture 5. All of a sudden, the passengers of the spaceship lose their stability and begin to float in the air. Nobody knows anymore where is the ceiling and where is the floor. Picture 6. It is the wicked fairy that catches them in her nets. The reaction engines stop and the rocket is surrounded by a big rope. The wicked fairy attacks this rope to her broom. Then, on her broom, she tows the spaceship towards the red planet where she lives. Picture 7. The wicked fairy shuts up Barnaby, Crow 12 and Hector in cages, and poor Mechanobear is put in jail. The wicked fairy does not like those who disturb her peacefulness around the red planet, and, above all, she hates technical things. Our friends begin to weep over their fate and Mechanobears. Viewmaster Reel 2. Picture 8. Crow 12 asks the wicked fairy why she does not like mechanical things. The fairy answers that she hates engines because she likes flowers, but they cannot grow on the red planet's soil. However, there are strange and wonderful flowers growing on a neighboring planet, inhabited by awful mechanical monsters. She also says that if they bring her only flour, she could forgive their intrusion to her kingdom and let them go freely. Picture 9. Therefore, Barnaby, Crow 12, and Mechanobear embark on the rocket and leave the wicked fairy's planet for the planet of the mechanical monsters. Hector is kept as hostage by the wicked fairy, and he will be freed only if his friends accomplish their mission. Picture 10. They land without any difficulty, but their presence is immediately noticed by the numberless bulldozers, elevators, and rusty cranes. Mechanobear leaves the spaceship the first and, flying freely, tries to divert the attention of the mechanical monsters that people this unknown planet. Barnaby has never seen such beings. Picture 11. Barnaby lands on the ground and runs rapidly towards a strange flower. Meanwhile, Crow 12 tries to divert the attention of a giant bulldozer which is grinding its enormous teeth. Picture 12. Collar Goal has already in his hands the strange flower when he hears the voice of Crow 12 crying, "Pay attention, here is the monster!" Barnaby picks up the flower and throws himself aside to avoid the awful mouth of the monster. Picture 13. In a second, they are all in the spaceship. Barnaby, victorious, keeps in his hands the wonderful flower he succeeded to pick up. Crow 12 and Mechanobear pilot the engine, and when they leave the ground of the mechanical planet, the ugly wicked bulldozers are powerless. Picture 14. Barnaby gave the wonderful flower to the fairy, and, as she promised, she frees immediately poor Hector. The brave rat, very heavy, jumps 5 times in the air and then shelters in the cabin. Master Reel 3. Picture 15. When, after all these adventures, they go down towards the earth, a lost meteor bars their way, and the shock provokes serious damages to the rocket. Picture 16. Barnaby, Crow 12, Hector, and Mechanobear have to abandon the damaged spaceship and to tow it up to the moon. They hope to have some rest there and to make the necessary reparations to their spaceship. Picture 17. But as soon as they begin the reparations, a very unpleasant surprise happens. The moon begins to disappear, to become smaller and smaller. In order to avoid falling into space, Barnaby and his friends begin to run desperately to find shelter on the part of the satellite still untouched. Picture 18. Soon there is only a small place left on the moon, and it is impossible to stand on it. Barnaby is hanging at the very end of the crescent moon, above the huge cosmic vacuum. Luckily, a shooting star was just passing by. Picture 19. The star helped them. They took place on its beams, and thus they could approach the earth. There Barnaby noticed the rainbow over the nice woods. Picture 20. Barnaby, Crow 12, Mechanobear, and Hector the space rat are jumping from the beams of the shooting star to the rainbow, and passing through all the colors, they go down rapidly to the ground. In the glade of the woods, Barnaby's friends prepared a mountain of cushions and mattresses to deaden the shock. The brave space travelers are welcomed like heroes. Picture 21. Barnaby rushes headlong in his mother's arms. His father, as usual, is nearby and sucks at his pipe. Barnaby's parents are very happy when their son, after having told them his adventures, trips and achievements, declares that it is still at home that he feels best.